Hello, sir. I'm Sampriti. So, I am here to explain the digital assignment one of information and system security. My topic is denial of service attack. That is a type of security attacks. And the down picture is a brief explanation of how cyber security attacks actually works. So, the attacker will be sending a message or something to a victim target. They'll be first making the target, and then they'll send the message to them. So that that message, when they victim get it, so there'll be some small process, then the attacker can hack the person's mobile or PC, and then they can get all the information of them. So before knowing about the denial of service attack, we'll be knowing briefly about the cybersecurity attack. What is actually a cyber security attack? We are seeing the cyber security attacks in this COVID time or lockdown time, mostly because everyone are at home, so don't have any work, so they will be doing this cyber attacks, cyber criminal attacks, where you'll be hacking the bank accounts of a person, and you'll get all the money from their bank account to your bank account. So this is the process that went on in this whole cybersecurity attack. So, a cybersecurity attack is any form of malicious activity that targets IT systems or the people using them to gain unauthorized access to the systems and the data or information they contain. In most cases, the cyber attackers are criminals looking to exploit the and attack for financial gain. Most of them will actually do this cybersecurity attack for gain of money from the other people or stealing the money from other bank accounts. In other cases, the aim is to disrupt operations by disabling access to IT systems, or in some cases directly damaging physical equipment. The latter type of attack is commonly state backed and carried out by state actors or cyber criminals in their employ. And the cyber security attacks can be targeted at specific organizations or individuals, or they can be broadcast in nature and impact on multiple organizations regionally and globally. And there are so many cyber attacks, like stealing the money, but not only stealing the money but also stealing the database of the person who are using the proper PC or mobile. So this even destroying the database is also a cyber security attack. Often targeted attacks jump from their intended victims to become more general problems for all organizations. So there was a Notapetia global infestation in June 2017, where the targeted attack on Ukrainian banks and utilities by state actors, and it had the intended impact on Ukraine, and that caused them approximately $10 billion to recover the IT systems and in lost productivity, according to the articles covering the cleanup. So the cyber security attack was on Ukrainian banks. That was a huge attack where the bank people had to spend $10 billion, nearly $10 billion, for them to perfectly analyze what was happened and how to cover it up. So there are a lot of cybersecurity attacks going on, but there are some common attacks which are done, like, well, there are many different ways that an attacker can infiltrate an IT system, but most cyber attacks rely on pretty similar techniques. Pretty similar techniques are the technique which is used very much, which is very easier to use and very safest to use. So these are some common attacks. First one is malware. So malware is a term where it encompasses various types of attacks, including spyware, viruses, and worms. Malware uses a vulnerability to breach a network when a user clicks a planted dangerous link or email attachment, which is used to install malicious software inside the system. So this malware, actually, how it works is, the attacker will be sending a certain mail to a certain person, a mail or SMS to a certain person. When they opens the mail or SMS, and they'll be asking to uh, say like okay, yes, or something. If you press okay, yes, you'll be getting your OTP. If you give your OTP to them, then they can easily hack your system or your mobile. Then they can get every detail of your mobile. Even you can't use the mobile by yourself. That will be only controlled by the cyber criminals. And the second one is phishing. The phishing attacks are extremely common and involve sending mass amounts of fraudulent emails to unsuspecting users disguised as coming from a reliable source. And the third one is man in the middle attack, MIMT. So this occurs when an attacker interprets a two-party transaction, inserting themselves in the middle. From there, cyber attackers can steal and manipulate data by interrupting the traffic. So here is an example. Like this type of attack is usually exploit security vulnerables into a network, such as an unsecured public Wi-Fi, to insert themselves between a visitor's device and the network. So the problem with this kind of attack is that it is very difficult to detect, and as the victim thinks the information is going to legitimate destination. And there are many more, like distributed denial of service attack. This will be knowing in coming slides. And SQL injections. This occurs when an attacker inserts malicious code into a server using a server query language, SQL, forcing the server to deliver protected information. This type of attack usually involves submitting malicious code into an unprotected website comment or search box. And the next one is zero-day exploit. A zero-day exploit refers to exploiting a network vulnerability when it is new and recently announced before a patch is released and implemented. And the other one is DNS tunneling. And the next one is business email compromise, BEC. And next one is cryptojacketing and drive-by attack, cross-site scripting, XSS attacks, password attack, eavesdropping attack, AI powered attack, and IoT based attacks. These are the common attacks where cyber criminals use to attack a particular target. So we are seeing many cyber attacks here. So how to prevent it? There are a lot of prevention measures to stop the cyber attacks, but every prevention measure can't use to stop the cyber attackers. So preventing a breach of your network and its system requires protection against a variety of such cyber attacks. For each attack, the appropriate countermeasure must be deployed, used to deter it from exploiting a vulnerability or weakness. The first line of defense for any organization is to access and implement security controls. For every cyber attacker, first it will be like they should uh, access to your mobile or PC. For that, they'll be sending some unwanted messages or mails to accept them or something like that. And then they'll be implementing your security controls. First they'll access your PC or mobile, and then they'll be going to the security controls and they'll change according to them, like the user can't use it. There are so many prevention measures for cyber attacks. So some of the most common ways to prevent cyber attacks include deploying cyber security policies. Like when you get when you get a message or mail, then it will be showing, if that is a correct message from the correct person, then it won't show any error, or if not, it will be showing like this is not permitted. Next, the implementing security awareness training, like knowing how and what is the correct message and all. Installing spam filters and anti malware software. When you install this software in your PC or mobile, when you get a fraud message or fraud email, before you opening itself, you'll be getting a warning that this is not a proper message or this is a fraud message and all. So installing the spam filters and anti malware software is very needed for people who don't know how to manage the all things. Deploying next generation firewalls, NGFW. Installing endpoint detection and response, EDR. Okay, till this we saw about the cyber attacks. Now we are going to the main topic, that is denial of service attack, DOS. So denial of service attacks work by flooding systems, servers, and or networks with traffic to overload resources and bandwidth. The result is rendering the system unable to process and fulfill legitimate requests. In addition to denial of service attacks, there are also distributed denial of services attacks. So this denial of service attack, how it works is, a network will be there, like the attacker's network. They'll be sending a lots of messages, or they'll be opening a lots of tabs in your PC, or they'll be sending a lots of SMSs to your mobile. So when you get so many messages or notifications, then automatically the mobile system will be getting slow. So when it becomes slow, uh, that is the point, or that is the time when the attackers can actually attack, or actually hack your PC or mobile. So at that time, they'll hack your PC or mobile, and then they will be going inside through your database. And there is another one, that is distributed denial of service attacks. This is more dangerous than DOS attacks. So DOS attacks saturate a system's resource with the goal of impending response to service requests. On the other hand, a DDoS attack is launched from several infected host machines with the goals of achieving service denial and taking a system offline, thus paving the way for another attack to enter the network or environment. This DDoS, how it is, means like it will be sending lots of messages, same like DOS, but it will crash the system or make the system offline, such that they can easily attack the system. So, a denial of service attack is an attack meant to shut down a machine or network, making it inaccessible to its intended users. DOS attack accomplish this by flooding the target with traffic or sending it information that triggers a crash. In both instances, the DOS attack deprives legitimate users of the service or resource they expected. So in DOS, there will be a network. From the network, they'll keep a target victim. For that target victim, they'll be flooding all the uh, traffic to them, or they'll be sending all the information of that triggers a crash for their mobile or PC. At that time, either way, you can attack the victim. So these are the two ways where they attack the victim. Victims of DOS attacks often target web servers of high profile organizations such as banking firms and media companies or government and trade organizations. Such that you'll be getting a lot of information through the databases, and you can play however you want. Though DOS attacks do not typically result in the theft or loss of significant information or other assets, they can cost the victim a great deal of time and money to handle. This may not cause you a lot of loss like money or information, but a small information or small money can also lead to a big time and money to handle. Like to configure it itself, you will be taking a lots of time. There are two general methods for DOS attacks, that is flooding services. One is for flooding services or crashing services. So flooding attacks occur when the system receives too much traffic for the server to buffer, causing them to slow down and eventually stop okay, so this flooding services is such that you'll be getting a lot of flooding messages or notifications or emails and anything, so that you'll be having lots of messages and your mobile will be shut down, or it will be slowing down. So at that time, the hackers will attack your mobile, and then they'll get all the information they needed. So there are so many popular flooding attacks. For example, buffer overflow attacks, the most common DOS attack. This is the most common attack. The concept is to send more traffic to a network address than the programmers have built the system to handle. It includes the attacks listed like mails, messages, and all. In addition to others that are designed to exploit bugs specific to certain applications or network. Here, it is the same, like it will be sending lots of packets through a network address than the actual programmers build the system to handle, and then they'll destroy or crash it, and they'll be adding any other designs to exploit the bug specific to certain applications or networks. Next is ICMP flood. Leverages misconfigured network devices by sending spoofed packets that ping every computer on the targeted network instead of just one specific machine. The network is then triggered to amplify the traffic. This attack is also known as Smurf attack or pinch of death. Next, SYN flood. Sends a request to connect to a server but never completes the handshake. It actually sends when the attacker will be sending you the request to the user, and when the user accepts the request of the hacker, the message never comes from the hacker. It continuously opens every tab and every step by step everything in the database, and slowly it will be going from the hands of the users, and then the hacker will be using everything. There is another type of DOS that is very dangerous, that is DDoS. It is distributed denial of service. So other DOS attacks simply exploit vulnerabilities that cause the target system or service to crash. In these attacks, input is sent that takes advantage of bugs in the target that subsequently crash or severely destabilize the system so that it can't be accessed or used. An additional type, DDoS attack, is distributed denial of service. A DDoS attack occurs when multiple systems orchestrate a synchronized DOS attack to a single target. The essential difference is instead that being attacked from one location, the target is attacked from many locations at once. So the difference between DOS and DDoS is, in DOS, only one network of hacker will be um, attacking only one network of user, but in DDoS, the hacker itself having lots of networks, and the all networks will be round up and select one at victim network, and this all hacking networks will be once attacking this victim network, so that it will be easy for the hackers to get the information very faster, because only one to one network is, it takes time, but so n to one networks it will be taking very easily. So this is the process where DDoS uses for attacking. So we'll be knowing about DDoS now. The distribution of hosts that defines a DDoS provide the attacker multiple advantages. Like, you can leverage the greater volume of machine to execute a seriously disruptive attack. The location of the attack is difficult to detect due to the random distribution of attacking systems. Often it may be worldwide. It is more difficult to shut down multiple machines than one. Like, one machine, like one network of hacker uh, can't shut down one network of the user very easily, but when it comes to lots of networks of hackers, it can easily shut down a one network of user. And next, the true attacking party is very difficult to identify, as they are discussed behind many or mostly compromised systems. Okay, till now we saw about cybersecurity attack and DOS and DDoS. So how actually this DOS attack works? Denial of service attacks tend to target web service servers of high profile organizations such as banking, e-commerce, and media companies, as well as government entities. Perpetrators go after organizations' assets in one of two ways, either by overwhelming their network with large volumes of traffic, or by sending nefarious data like bugs that will trigger no crash. No matter the method, the intended outcome is the same, to take the network or machine down. Additional networks or assets not actually targeted by the DOS attackers may also be impacted in the DOS victim, is like, say, an internet or cloud service providers for others. A potentially more dangerous form of DOS attack is known as distributed denial of service attack, DDoS. We already saw it. In this commonly attempted cases, an attack perpetrated by multiple systems as opposed to a basic DOS attack can impact or completely take out of service any internet facing services. DDoS attacks may also be used to distract organizations from other criminal activities such as data theft or network infiltration. Types of DOS attacks. So we'll be seeing the types of DOS attacks. There are so many types of DOS attacks, but some are here: volume-based attacks, protocol or network layer attacks, and application layer attacks. Uh, volume is these use large amount of fake traffic to overwhelm in online resource. Protocol or network layer attacks, these send large number of packets to network infrastructure and infrastructure management tools. Application layer attacks, these are similar to volume based attacks but are conducted by flooding applications with malicious requests. Their size is measured in requests per second, rps. And there are so many prevention and protection methods for DOS. Like we can, from CISA said that the symptoms of a DOS attack can resemble non-malicious availability issues such as technical problems with a particular network or a system administrator performing maintenance, followed by unusually slow network performance and unavailability of a particular website can be strong signs of a DOS attack. So there are some more attacking or protection and prevention methods, like monitor and analyze network traffic, strengthen their security posture, monitor traffic, establish a DOS attack resource plan, and some more are like prevent spoofing, limit broadcasting, streamline incident response, protect endpoints, dial in firewalls. So there are a lot of prevention and protection methods for DOS. If we follow these all, we can just stop these DOS attacks at least some 5%. Thank you.